Premier Ford, answer me this. I have a problem with your agenda. Well, I believe the problem is your hidden agendas. I have a few other problems with you, but first let's talk about the largest one. So let us see. You're planning on building 1.5 million houses. I read somewhere that these houses will have basement apartments to help bring an income into the home. Also, you claim that they will be affordable. Hang on for a second, I have to stop laughing. Oh, here we go. I have to give you credit for your way with words. You come across in such a manner that the average person actually believes what you're saying. They hear your voice, but sadly, they do not hear your words. Answer me this, Premier. Affordable by who exactly? Also, and I may be wrong, I heard that the refugees will be given first priority to these homes. They will be given first priority. They have already been given first priority and have filled a large portion at our civic shelters. We will not bother to bring up how many are housed in motels and hotels. Maybe you should get off your couch buns one evening and walk along the Danforth, start at Victoria Park and end at Broadview. If you start your journey around midnight, you should be quite entertained by the sights that you shall see and the people you will meet. And when you get to the Bloor Viaduct, why don't you take a box of donuts to the souls who live under it? Don't be afraid, they're not trolls. They are only our homeless who have lost hope yet found a way to cope. Do you know that there are literally thousands of Ontario citizens, voters, and taxpayers, yes, homeless people pay tax on everything just like we do, that are sleeping in tent cities, parks, under bridges, highway overpasses, and down in the many valleys and alleys? Ontario needs apartments. Now, affordable apartments, geared toward the low income, for they are the ones that are truly homeless. Do you understand that the average rent in the province is far higher than those on social service or disability assistance can ever afford? Anyone who's presently receiving social assistance receives far less than the average rent. This causes them to eventually lose their homes, after which they cannot qualify to obtain an apartment because the rent is far more than the maximum amount of income they can receive. Apartments should be a higher priority than houses built, especially houses built far out in the suburbs where many families would be stranded and depend fully upon public transit to conduct their everyday lives. Perhaps your actions are a play or a ploy done purposely to drive the low-income population far out into the fringes of society and thereby be less noticed. You know, out of sight, out of mind. Remember I tell you this, Premier Dougie. You can build 5 million houses and it will not get one single Ontario homeless citizen off the streets. Not one. Why? The answer is simple. If a homeless soul could afford to buy a house, they would not be homeless. I also suggest you do a study to see how many of the present homeless are senior citizens. You should do a comprehensive study to see how all seniors, housed or homeless, are surviving. I know quite a few that have to make a choice every month between paying rent and the bills or eating. There's no sense of having a bunch of groceries if you have nowhere and no home to eat it in. Sir, Premier, Dougie, or whatever I should call you, listen. I think you should fall back and regroup and take a detailed look at what has happened and what will happen here in our once stable and beautiful province. And then man up and do the right thing for the right people.